I'm finally able to talk about Scream 7. I know I got the wrong shirt on, but I just watched it just now. I'm about a month late. It came out in like late February. It's like late March now. I had to wait for it to get on streaming. Unfortunately, I didn't see it in theaters, but fortunately, I did avoid spoilers for the most part. There was one thing. This video will contain spoilers, by the way, for Scream 1 through 7. So if you haven't seen them, if you haven't seen the newest one, don't watch this. I got a lot to say. This video is going to be all over the place. Probably going to be a lot of So if you don't like that, hit the road. But yeah, I just watched it, literally just finished it, and now I'm filming this video. Got a lot of things to say. Where do I begin? I guess I'll say, if you don't know my thoughts on the franchise as a whole, it is my favorite slasher franchise ever. Scream 4 specifically is my favorite slasher film of all time, but the Scream franchise is what got me into slasher films. So I hold the franchise in very high regard, and man, it took a long time for us to get to Scream 7, because after the events of Scream VI, there has been a lot of controversy, and the film just kept, it went through production hell, to say the least. There was the whole controversy with Melissa Barrera getting fired, and then Jenna Ortega wasn't returning, and then like directors kept switching up. Christopher Landon was supposed to direct the movie. He left because he got death threats for himself and his family because of the whole Melissa Barrera situation. And a lot of people boycotted like making a new Scream at all, and they are still boycotting it. At the premiere of Scream, there were tons of people outside protesting the movie. And I know some people personally who are like, yeah, I'm not watching the new Scream. I'm not watching any movies made by that company. So, like, yeah, the fact that we got a new Scream movie at all is like a shocker, and we're very fortunate. Now, I love Scream 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is the only one that I'm mixed on. I still like it. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I made a video talking about my thoughts on it. And I love Scream 6, my favorite films in the franchise, the OG, 4, and VI. And yeah, I made a video talking about why I dislike Scream 5 so much, all the problems I have with it, and it basically came down to them using nostalgia as an excuse to like please the audience, I guess. They just do that thing where it's like, ooh, we said this thing in the original, we're saying it now, remember? Or like, we're playing this song, we played it in the original, remember? Or we're at this location, we did that in the original, remember? I feel like they just do that way too often in Scream 5. And Halloween, they have the same problem with 2018. A lot of franchises now, especially with requels, it's just like there's not enough originality in the movie. It's just like, we're gonna copy the original. People like the original. You like the original, right? We're copying it. Aren't you happy? And I'm just like, I love paying homage. I love Easter eggs. I love tributes. But there is a line and you cross it, right? To where it just becomes, we're copying the original, we're copying the original, we're copying the original. And that was my problem with Scream 5, but also the fact that it copied Scream 4 a lot. Um, that's a different video. If you want to watch that video, it's on my channel, Scream 5 Rant Review. But anyways, uh, yeah, my friend and I were talking about the Scream franchise as a whole. I told them why I didn't like Scream 5. I sent them that video. They were like, well, boy, oh boy, you are not going to like Scream 7. And I was like, fuck, no, please. And I was like, maybe you'll be wrong, maybe you'll be wrong. And they were like, yeah, I don't think so, I don't think so. Well, I just watched Scream 7. And what, were they wrong? Were they wrong? They were wrong for the most part. Also, my biggest thing with Scream 7, and I told my friend this, the whole movie could be garbage. I wouldn't care. I wanted one thing out of the movie. Just one teeny little tiny thing. And they did that, not really. But even still, as a whole, let me sum it up just quick. As a whole, movie was great till the last 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Once the killer reveal happens, movie went downhill. As a whole, pretty good. Ending, bad. Like I said, gonna talk about spoilers, so. Okay, so as soon as Scream 7 got announced, or I think when Kevin Williamson was announcing he was working on the movie, articles started popping up left and right. This actor's returning, this actor's returning, this actor's returning. It was like Stu Macher, the character is returning. Matthew Lillard is returning as Stu Macher. And like, Sidney's brother Roman is returning, and David Arquette as Dewey's returning. People started making jokes because it was insane. All these articles going around. Emma Roberts is returning, so people would be like, Sidney's dog from part 3 is returning. It got out of hand. It was funny though. Hang on. I'm not editing this video, so I'm sorry for boring parts like this. I had to catch my breath. I'm very amped up talking about this movie. Yeah, so it was like crazy when all these actors were announced to return, and people were like, why the fuck would you put that just out in the open? If you were going to have like these characters return, shouldn't that be like a big reveal, like the last Spider-Man movie that happened, where everyone was like, it's rumored that Andrew Garfield might, it wasn't even rumored, it was more like a conspiracy of like Tobey Maguire might return, Andrew Garfield might return, this might happen. And then it's a big reveal when you finally watch the movie and it does happen. It wasn't in the trailers or anything. But then Scream 7's just like, yeah, these people are returning, that person returning, they're returning, and him and there, and so it was like, what the like, are they actually returning? The biggest one was Stu. That was the one that everyone was talking about. Even in the trailer, they put his voice in there. They don't show him, but you hear like, hi, Sidney. That was the worst Stu impression of all time. So that was the big one. And that was the one thing that I wanted from this movie more than anything. And again, this movie, even if it did what Scream 5 did, and it was just nostalgia, reference, as long as they had Stu in it, I would have been happy. And this movie kind of has Stu in it. I'll get to that in a minute. But talking about Stu as a whole, because that's a big thing in the Scream franchise, he died in part 1, right? He gets stabbed a few times and then maybe shot. I'm surprised I don't remember that, but then the TV on the head is the most iconic thing. And people have always debated, did Stu actually die? Is he alive? Because people have survived way worse than what he did. I mean, look at Scream VI. Chad has 2 different Ghostface, 2 different knives, just multiple times, over and over and over and over, right in here in his chest and arteries. He has blood pouring out his mouth. He's like, run. And then by the end of the movie, he's making out with Jenna Ortega. Not really making out, but he survived. And so I've always been one of the people like, bro, a few stabs and a TV on the head, like, he survived. And they've been setting up ever since they brought back Scream. Scream 5, Scream VI, they have mentioned Stu in both movies. Scream 5, Richie's watching Dead Meat talk about the Stab franchise. And on the side, there's a recommended video, and it's like, Stu Macher, is he really alive? Is he really dead? And then Scream 6, they straight out say it. Mindy's having a conversation with Kirby, and they're in like the shrine of Ghostface's past. And there's the TV, the actual TV from the first film. And Mindy's like, the TV that killed Stu Macher. And Kirby's like, if you believe he's really dead. So they've been setting this up for 2 movies. But even behind the scenes further back, because the original plan that Wes Craven had for Scream 3 was going to be that Stu Macher was alive and in prison, but he was somehow orchestrating all the Ghostface killings from prison. And then some real life, I think it was a school shooting, some controversial, terrible, horrific terrorist attack type of thing happened in real life, and they did not want people thinking they were trying to profit off of it. So I don't know how coincidental, how similar the situation in the original script for Scream 3 was, but they basically said, oh, here's the script for Scream 3, throw it away and start over. But like Matthew Lillard had already been in talks to return as Stu Macher. And he has wanted to come back for years, bro. And we know in Scream 5 and 6 they brought back Billy Loomis, Skeet Ulrich, even though he obviously got killed in the first movie. He didn't get his throat slit. I don't know why I did that. So, oh, but Billy Loomis's whole story was tied into the story of his daughter, Sam Loomis, who was played by Melissa Barrera. She left because of the controversy, so it's like, Billy Loomis, that story thrown away too. He even said, Skeet Ulrich even said that Scream 7 was going to be the closing chapter in this new trilogy of Sam and Tara Carpenter / Loomis. And that Sam was supposed to become Ghostface. And yeah, we're going to get a lot more Billy Loomis ghost hallucination type stuff. And he kinda got screwed out of that too because the whole situation where they fired Melissa Barrera. And yeah, because of all the controversy that I just said, of all the directors coming and going, and the actresses getting fired, people not returning, the marketing team or producers, whoever was in charge, whoever gave the green light, thumbs up to say, make another Scream movie, they were desperate. I think they were literally like, bro, the whole world is on fire. They hate us right now because we fired Melissa Barrera. Do anything you can to get people going, a new Scream movie, yeah. So, if you're a Scream fan, you know Part 6 did not have Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, only film in the Scream franchise without her. And the reason for that is because they offered her a low amount of money, or she wanted a certain amount of money, and they said no. So I think this time around they were like, bro, you want all the money in the world, we'll give it to you, just come back, save our franchise, get people to come see this movie. So she got enough to come back for Scream 7. Kevin Williamson, who wrote the first movie with Wes Craven, he came back to like write and direct. And then yeah, all these other things popped up of like Stu Macher, coming back, Matthew Lillard and David Arquette and Emma Roberts, all this stuff. So that's all just like the backstory surrounding this movie. And now it's like, okay, here is the movie. Is the movie good? And it surprisingly really was, until the ending where it all fell apart and it was like, but let's just get into it. And again, if you can't tell by now, I'm not going off of a script, just the old noggin, and I have epilepsy, so it is not the best. But okay, opening scene of this movie, I was bouncing off the walls, bro. The opening scene of this movie is probably now in the top 3 best openings of the Scream franchise. In my previous top 3 was Scream 2, the OG Scream, and Scream 4. But the beginning of this movie, I fucking loved it. I was freaking out. So we go back to Stu Macher's house, which just the idea of which I was already like, bro, we already went back to Stu's house in part 5. You're gonna do it again? But what I love is that it's basically turned into like a bed and breakfast or like a tourist attraction where like people can pay to come stay here, and they have posters of all the stab movies. They have like a shrine of Stu. They have animatronics of Ghostface, And they have even, it's so distasteful, I mean, the whole thing is, but they have like a tape on the floor, like body outlines of like where each person died in the house, like Billy, like Amber. Um, I don't know if they did everyone. I hope they didn't do something like Tatum in the garage, but they didn't show that. But yeah, the opening, I fucking loved it. Just the whole idea of like the bed and breakfast. I'm a huge fan of like creepy hotels, so I was getting that kind of vibe from it. And the boyfriend and girlfriend, and like he's super into Scream, and she's like, bro, this is messed up. I don't want to be here. And like they get faked out by the Ghostface animatronic. And then, bro, spoilers again. Ghostface swaps out the animatronic and just stands there with the knife pretending to be one. And he like kicks the dude and then like the knife he puts the knife directly into the side of his head and you see it like go through his eye and I was just like, bro, they are starting off on such a strong note with this. And then the girl tries running out the front door but has to go up the stairs. Iconic. Sydney says that in like the first movie. And then the girl's swinging on the chandelier, and Ghostface falls off the balcony, the edge of the staircase, and then she falls, and he turns, and he puts the knife, and she falls on the knife. I was just over and over again like, yes, bro, yes. It was so good. And then she's still alive, and Ghostface like walks off, and you're like, what is he doing? Isn't he gonna kill her? He starts pouring gasoline all over her and all over the house. He burns her alive, and he walks out that house, and he's walking away, and just the whole thing is crumbling, and it's on fire, and it's like, bro, this is how we're starting the movie, burning down Stu Macher's iconic house. Like, oh my gosh. And yeah, so one thing I was really surprised about in this movie is that it wasn't just like nostalgia, 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 reference, reference, reference. Don't get me wrong, there are a decent amount of those in the film, but I felt like Scream 5, that was like all there was. And it never let you forget it, and it was beating you over the head with it. But so in the opening that I just talked about at Stu Macher's house, the bed and breakfast, I feel like that's where you get the majority of the references. But at the same time, they're kind of making fun of it as well, because the guy is such a big Scream fan or Stab fan. So he keeps being like, "Oh, that's where Billy died, and that's in the closet that Sydney hid in," and his girlfriend's like, "I know," I know, and that's kind of like us, like we're the movie is like, hey, remember the closet that Sydney hid in, and we're like, yeah, I know, I've seen the movie, so I appreciated that. um the girl playing with the knives, it was cute. I didn't mind it as much as I did when they did it in the last movie, because like I said, it felt like they were in this one, they were making fun of all the references, making fun of themselves and the meta-ness. To be honest, the only time that the references or the nostalgia, whatever you want to call it, the homages. The only time it bothered me really is when we have Sydney's daughter, Sydney's daughter's boyfriend sneak in the window, and he's being all, "The Exorcist was on, got me thinking about us." He's totally trying to be Billy Loomis, but again, um, she says like, I heard that before, and he's like, what? Billy Loomis is the only one. Whatever, like they try to justify it, but I was just like cringe, cringe, cringe. Like Billy Loomis is at least hot and like had the bad boy vibe, and this I was just like, bro, you ain't Billy Loomis. At some point, I think Mindy says like dollar store knockoff Billy Loomis, and I was like, yeah, for real. Okay, Sydney's daughter as a character, I surprisingly liked her. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh yeah, greatest character ever. She definitely nowhere close to Sam or Tara, but I really expected her to be like Allison from Halloween 2018. Allison from Halloween 2018 was a lot of just like, it was like half and half. It felt like half they were trying to make her as much as Laurie Strode as they could, and half was whatever, grandma, like get over it, like come on. So some guy killed all your friends. Like, get over it. And I don't know. Tatum felt those qualities were there, but it was like down here instead of up here. And this actually had a reason because apparently Sydney never talked to her daughter about everything that she went through. Like Tatum knows stuff about her life because there's movies, because there's books, because her friends talk about it, because it's on the internet. But she'll ask her mom like, "Yo, tell me what happened," and Sydney's like, "Nah, I'm good." So it made sense that she doesn't fully understand the severity of the situation and like how dangerous it is, and she's not just being like, "Mom, so what? All this shit happened in your life, and all your friends and family got killed. Like, I don't care. Like, big deal. Ghostface is dead." It felt like okay, she actually has a reason to like be downplaying this whole thing and kind of pushing her mom away a little bit. Um, new characters, new characters besides Tatum. Yikes. There was one. There was one, and I feel bad I can't remember her name, but it's the actress. She was in Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. She was in Madam Web, if anyone's seen that movie besides me. And I just looked her up on IMDb. She was in something else and I can't remember. She was a funny character. She was quirky. She was tough. She fought back. I liked her a lot. As of everyone else, okay, so McKenna Grace, I'm a huge fan of McKenna Grace. She is like not only an incredible actress, she is an incredible singer. I think I actually like listen to her music more than I've seen her in movies. Like, I think she's an awesome actress, like I just said. And ironically, she's Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, and Ghostbusters Afterlife. But I've watched her since she was young. She's played like the young version of Captain Marvel, the young version of Sabrina Spellman, and I've just watched her career grow. And now it's like she's the female Pedro Pascal because it's like every single thing that comes out is like, oh, McKenna Grace is in that, McKenna Grace is in that. Oh, okay, okay. Um, and one big shocker, spoiler again, she's in this movie like that much. She's literally like the Drew Barrymore, I feel, of this movie. Um, she's in it really not maybe like 10 minutes. And it's funny because in the trailer for the movie, she's hanging out with Sydney's daughter, and she's wearing a plaid skirt. And as soon as that trailer dropped, everyone online was like, "Blue plaid, blue plaid." If you remember, Billy Loomis wore blue plaid, Jill wore blue plaid, Richie, um, Charlie from Part Four as well. So it's like a known thing. If you wear blue plaid, then you're Ghostface. So everyone was like, "McKenna Grace is Ghostface. I cracked the case." And it's like, nah, she's in this movie like 10 minutes. Uh, I thought she was funny. I thought she was cute, but we didn't really get to know her much as a character. Something I don't know if it was a creative decision. Her voice sounded like higher pitched. Um, which I didn't mind. It wasn't like annoying. I was just like, that's different. Like, and it's kind of cool because it's like adds something different to her character when she's in so many different things. It seemed more like okay, like this isn't just McKenna Grace. This is a character. And her death again. That was one of the things that I was like, oh my gosh, because she's like they're doing a play or a musical at school and she's like on wires and like Ghostface kills her boyfriend, so she's the only one in the auditorium, and she's up on these wires, and she's like swinging back and forth, and Ghostface is like, slash your arm, slash your leg, and then he slashes her chest, and all her organs just spill out, and I was like, whoa! Kills in this movie are awesome. Just saying that right now, if it's not obvious. Okay, okay, okay. Just remember something great. So Sydney Prescott has a safe room in her house, which is awesome and is a million times better than Laurie Strode's bitch ass safety basement that she had. Um, And there's a scene where she has this safe room, but she has like a built-in like escape or like secret passageway where she can like go through the walls. There's like a little space in between the walls, so her and Tatum are like shimmying through, and Ghostface hears them, so he just starts stabbing through the walls and shit. And Sydney was super cool. She has like a baseball bat, and she like beats the knife so it's all like bent and stuck in the wall. But then he grabs a fireplace poker and starts poking through that. And it reminded me of scenes like the sound booth scene in Scream 2. That's people always talking about that as one of the most intense scenes when like Dewey's on one side of the glass and Gale's on the other, or Scream VI, the ladder scene where it's a ladder and it's going across like an apartment building and they have to crawl from one apartment to the other on a ladder. That scene in this movie with going through the walls, that was exactly, I was getting those same feels and like, oh my gosh, this is so intense. And this is already 26 minutes, and I'm going to stop the video and then start another one because I don't want this to stop recording and then me lose all of this. So stay tuned for part 2.